Speak like you love yourself. Think like you love yourself. Eat like you love yourself. And care for your natural hair like you love yourself.
Welcome to Holistic Hair Conversations, where we discuss all things holistic natural hair care and holistic natural lifestyle. I would love to introduce you all to my next guest. Tell the people who you are, beautiful, and share with us whatever you want us to know.
Hey y'all, so my name is Nneka Osueke. I am a therapist, an artist, and a mental health practitioner, a medicine woman. I do a lot, a creative, all the things, but the foundation of everything I do is helping people reconnect to their joy and their truth. So whether that's through therapy, whether that is through holistic health and living intentionally, that's pretty much the aim of what I do. Anything that I do is to help people reconnect to that birthright of joy that we all have within us that we just maybe have lost along the way or forgotten about. So that's pretty much the essence of my work on this world.
I love that, and I love that.
Yeah.
So, how long would you say you've been doing this work, and what inspired you to do this work?
So I would say this has been a lifelong thing. So like, again, I have this ability to just sort of do things. Like if I see something, I set my mind to it, I just do it. And I think that's just the beauty of being a creative. I can kind of just tackle any avenue. I started painting when I was 5. So in terms of the creativity and the artistry, I was painting and drawing at a very young age. I was designing clothes at a very young age. And in terms of being a therapist, I obviously went to school for it, but I feel like I've been advising people since I was like a kid, just based off of the environment that I grew up in and what I saw in my household. I was kind of a mentor to a couple of people, and I just sort of understood why people do what they do based off of what they've seen growing up and how they were raised. And so this has been like lifelong work, honestly. I think it's just taken some time to actualize it and to be intentional with it, instead of just kind of like picking it up and putting it down when I need it or using it when it's available to me. Just being intentional about like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to do it. But I would say my holistic health journey began when I was 12. That's when I started working out. And of course, at first it was just for vanity reasons. Like I think I was going on like a school field trip where we had to wear a bikini, like to some water park. And I was like, okay, well, this is my first time wearing a swimsuit. I want to look good. Like I want to be cute for my friends. But then I started to, I guess, come online consciously around that age too. And I just saw how my parents were struggling with high blood pressure, hypertension. Well, those are the same thing, but just health in general, to where I've never seen my parents not taking medication. Okay. I've never seen them not like, oh, I'm on a schedule, I got to take my pill. Like I've never not seen that from them. So I thought to myself, I don't want that to be me. I want to live my life differently. I want to be able to live a healthy life, because the idea is not that to stay alive forever. Of course, nobody makes it out of this thing alive, but the quality of life is important to me. And I think that's what I saw from them. It's just like a lower quality of life, based off the fact that they had to rely on these medications and these synthetic drugs to keep their bodies doing what their bodies were naturally made to do. Mm-hmm. So all of that being said, I think it just sort of came all together with like who I am just as a person and the kind of life that I see for myself. It's just all playing out together. The art, the therapy, the holistic health, it's just all coming together. And I'm just loving it.
I love it. I love that for you. I think it's interesting that some of us will observe things happening around us in life and say, how can I do this better? Like, internally, right? How can I do this better, for myself, for my community? And some of us don't. We just accept that this is what it is, and we go down that path. And I think that's interesting. Like, I don't know what the difference is, but it happens. Don't you
think? It does. I think so too. And that's what got me into therapy in the first place. I've just always had an interest in that very thing of like, okay, two people can see the same situation play out, but they take completely different paths. Why is that? Like, what makes this person choose to do different, and what makes this person choose to do the same exact thing? So I think it's interesting too. I don't know,
but I'm gonna have to find somebody. You got to find somebody that can, answer that question probably.
Right, who can do the science, right?
Perspective, like, tap us in, because I want to know.
Right.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us. So now I want to know, when did you begin your natural hair journey, and what was the reason?
I like this question because it made me think, and I realized I don't know why I went natural. Like, that's crazy to me that either I don't know why or I don't remember. So for me, the way I've seen things play out in my life is I feel like, the creator uses things in people like as like a carrot to dangle in my face. So it's like, okay, this is what I want, and I have my reason for going after this. But then it's just like, nope, psych. And it's like, I just did that to bring you here, to get you where you need to be, right? Because I know you wasn't going to move on your own. But I went natural in 2010, I believe. I attempted it once where I was growing my hair out. So of course it was like 2 textures, and it was tough because I was in undergrad at the time. I was living on my own, i.e. being in college, like away from my parents and my family for the first time. So I was just sort of adjusting to early adulthood and what it means to, like, be responsible for myself. So the first time around, I was just like, let me just perm it again, because I can't. And then the second time, I actually was just transitioning, and I don't even remember what prompted me to go natural, but I think if I can try to put some kind of guess to it, I just feel like around that time there was an awakening happening for a lot of people. And I don't know, it was just something about the atmosphere at that time during that season of that period of existence, where people were just kind of like starting to ask themselves questions about like, okay, like, why do I do this? Why are we told to look like this? Why are we told to do this to our hair? And so that curiosity, which I've always just been a naturally curious person, asking myself questions, I do believe that curiosity kind of led me to be like, I just want to see what my hair looks like. And so as I transitioned, there was one summer, I think summer of 2011, where I just finally like cut my hair in a bob. And at that point I was fully natural. So that began the journey of just learning like this hair that I've never seen before, but it's like my hair. It grows out of my head like this. And it just baffled me that I had never seen my hair like this before. So I continued with the journey. And of course, my interest in like holistic health, even at that early age, started to pour into like the natural hair care journey. So since then, it's just been a process of learning how to really love my natural texture and just not work against it, but work with it, because it's beautiful. Like when I really started to look at our curls and our coils, and I'm just like, whoever convinced us that this was not beautiful? And so from there, it was just kind of like, I just want to know more. I just want to learn. I just want to connect with myself deeper. And that includes my hair in this state. So yeah.
I love that. It's interesting that you said you feel like there was some sort of like awakening happening around that time, because you went natural in 2010, right? The sister that I chatted with for my first conversation, she also went natural in 2010. I went natural in 2011.
Okay.
I had to try to go back and look at the stars and what the planets were doing.
Child, listen, the cosmos was cutting up, because it's like, why is everybody cutting their hair off?
Yeah, So,
but I love that for us.
Figure it out. But yeah, you could be onto something with that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, have you had any struggles with your natural hair?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So the obvious struggle for most people, I feel, was like moving past the beauty standards that have been set out for most of us, right? That was a struggle for me because it challenged so much of what I was told beauty was. But in terms of like actual struggles, definitely learning like what works best for my hair. I think that the journey with most naturals is like, of course, everybody was kind of going natural at that time. So that you had a bunch of YouTube videos and a bunch of products that were now popping up. And it's just like, okay, you go into that state of like wanting to try everything and do everything. And it's just like, instead of, I think you have to go and try the most and then learn that, oh, you don't have to do all of that. You can just do like the simple things. So learning what works best for my hair, learning how to care for it according to my unique texture, my unique, the way that my hair just works on its own. Because it's so easy to look at somebody else's journey and say, okay, that worked for them, I'm gonna do it for me too. So the struggles have mostly been with learning how to care for it, learning how to just fully accept it, and plateaus. That had like growth plateaus have always been like something that I guess has confused me. So I think that's also part of the learning how to work with it and just learning how to accept like, this is my hair, you know, like this is what it does. And, you know, and also to consistency, the struggle of consistency. I would say that's something that I'm working on being much better at. But those were some of my early struggles with going natural.
Okay. And so I heard you say a little bit about one of the struggles and how it kind of challenged, you know, it went against modern beauty and, you know, it challenged what we, you know, our program to think beauty is. But have you had any struggles with your self-image related to wearing black hair? You know, like that kind of ties in, right?
Yeah.
But is there anything else you feel like?
Yes. So natural hair has really challenged, it's challenged the hell out of my perception of femininity, my perception of beauty, and the work on, like, I would say decentering male validation. Those have been the three big ones for me, because like with the beauty standards that have been like that are set in most societies, the idea is that like long, straight, flowing hair is like the beauty standard, right? And so the implication is that if I don't have that, then I'm not beautiful. So that has been sort of like the subliminal messaging that a lot of us have picked up as young girls. So dismantling that and sort of looking at, okay, do I have to be pretty? Do I have to have long hair to be pretty? Do I have to have long hair to be considered feminine, right? Do I have to have long hair to be, you know, to be worthy of dating, like, you know, being chosen by a man, right? And just challenging all of the aspects of that. Like, okay, so why am I waiting to be chosen by somebody who doesn't see me as beautiful? Do I see me as beautiful first and foremost? Do I see my worth? Do I see my value? Am I choosing myself first? So it's challenged. It's just had so much of an impact on the way that I choose to see myself within the framework of that beauty standard and reclaiming my own gaze, I guess you can say, like reclaiming my own standards for myself. So yeah, it's been a journey, and it's a journey I'm still on.
That's real. That's real talk.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can find, you know, that old programming and those doubts and stuff creeping in. It's like, hold up.
Yeah, right. Like, wait. Who told me this? Who decided that this was true? Who decided that this was like, you know? So it's just like challenging those thoughts for sure.
Yeah. And so to kind of segue into the next question, how have you overcome those self-image challenges?
Mm-hmm.
Is there like a particular technique or that has helped you overcome?
Yes.
Yeah.
Therapy.
Okay.
And I'm a therapist, but therapists need therapists too.
Mm-hmm.
Therapy, and also too, just my own work of doing a lot of inner child work.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that sounds like it's separate from the whole idea of like the hair, but it's not. It's so not, because so many of these messages that we receive as kids, we take on and they become what we like frame ourselves around as adults. So
Mm-hmm.
just pouring into like that little girl inside of me who didn't feel pretty, who didn't feel like she was a beauty standard, who got picked on because her hair was in plaits and her hair was short, like giving lots of tender love and care to that little girl, because you can go out into the world and everybody can tell you everything about how beautiful you are, how gorgeous you are. But if you don't believe it for yourself, it's just that much harder to really take in those words. So just starting with myself first and going back to the time where those messages were really stamped into my head, and giving myself the love and care and telling her that she's beautiful. So that's been a huge one for me in overcoming just all the stuff that comes with like trying to live up to the beauty standards that do not encompass women with natural hair, right? So that's been the big one for me. But yeah, inner child work and therapy for sure.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, more of us could definitely benefit from it. And yeah, thank you for sharing that. I've had to go on my own journey also, right, over the years. So I know how beneficial the therapy is, how necessary this sitting with yourself and doing the self-examination and doing the self-affirmation, learning how to show love and kindness to yourself can help you have a much more healthy and balanced outlook on life. But so it's necessary. So I love that. I love that answer. So are your loved ones positive or negative in natural hair?
Mostly positive. And that's because, child, everybody is natural. Like if they got wigs on, if they got braids in, underneath them braids and wigs, everybody is natural. So it's mostly positive. I do feel like I've had to correct some people, especially because like I come from a Nigerian background. And so there's a lot of there's also a lot of heavy indoctrination within the Nigerian community as well, in terms of the beauty standards, in terms of, certain ways of life and living and religious practices. So there's been moments where in the past somebody may have said like, why does your hair look like that? Or, are you going to do your hair? But that's been in the beginning stages when being natural was not the thing, right? When it was kind of just like still a little bit like, okay, so why are you growing your hair like that? But for the most part, everyone else is pretty positive about it. And everybody is on the same wave, essentially, with wearing their hair in the same state.
I think it's easier when it's that way, But yeah, that correction, it happens a time or two. People come out their face and they don't even realize.
They don't.
They just attacked you about something. They just used to, saying these negative things about natural hair because they've been programmed with it. Like I'll never forget it. I was doing a little girl's hair, and I want to say she was probably like 8 or 9, and I was doing her. She was like a friend of the family, and so I was doing her, at my parents' house. And one of my mother's friends, her church friends, came in and was like, "Ooh, her hair is so nappy. What you gonna do to it?" I said, "Ma'am, nappy hair is happy hair. It's beautiful." I said, "Baby girl, you have the most beautiful nappy hair I have ever seen. Put some lovely braids and like I had to spin that around real quick.
Yes, really quick.
And, so that baby girl would not internalize that nappy as an attack and as a negative thing. And so like to this day, and so then, once I did that, like the older woman was like, "Wow, yeah, okay.
Red.
Nappy
Red.
hair, the most beautiful nappy hair I have ever seen. And we're doing,
Yeah.
she's smiling and whatnot. And the
Mm-hmm.
older lady was like, and then just turned around and walk out. But like
Mm-hmm.
even to this day, when I use the word nappy, like some people will say, "Oh, well, nappy is disrespectful, and it's this and it's that, and you shouldn't use nappy. You should use this, that, or the other." And I'm like, listen, I reject all negative connotations that's attached to nappy. So, I think nappy hair is beautiful. I think, it is strong. I think it's one of those things that we can definitely take back and make, positive.
Our own. Right.
If that's what we choose to do. So, I mean, while you don't want to say nappy, you can say kinky, you can say coily. I'll say all of it, but I reject all that negativity that others have put on our hair because
I love that.
it's beautiful. So, yes.
I love that.
Yeah, girl, it's necessary. We gotta correct the people because
and it makes me think about what's her name? I think Elaine Wainsworth, or I think that's her name. She wrote the book More Than Enough, and she was saying how the age of 9 is when, like, statistically, according to like the studies that they've done, girls' confidence peaks at 9.
Oh,
it peaks. That's what they were saying.
Really?
So,
okay.
Yeah. Well, according to that study, so it's just kind of like we have to really we have to be careful about what we say to our young girls, right? And I think me wearing my hair in a natural state, like if it's in a fro, if it's in braids, whatever, and just kind of walking around in a way that's proud and confident in that, that's sending a message to them too.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
absolutely. And they see, women who look like them wearing their own hair, and they think those women are beautiful, then it does, light up something in them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that confidence is contagious. That representation, right? So we can do it. So is there a significant man in your life? And if so, how do you feel about your hair?
I love this question because I think it's so important. Like people tend to think dating is trivial when it comes down to, but it's like, no, it's all, you can learn so much about how you value yourself and how you view yourself when you're dating. So to answer that question, I do not have a significant other. However, I am actively in the dating scene, like actively dating. And I feel like it's so, like, just doing like the case studies on who I've dated in the past, who I've been interested in the past, and versus who I'm interested in now. It's not a huge difference, but what I'm willing to, and I always say, like, it's not about who you attract, it's about who you choose. Like that's where it is, because we attract everybody. It's mostly who we feel worthy of letting in. But ever since I've really just been pouring into myself, like the self-love, the care, like really tending to my natural hair, really just falling in love with it through like each wash day, I'm finding that I'm only choosing to like involve myself with men who feel the same way. Like, so men who are just like, I love natural hair, or who are like, who prefer natural hair, right? Like they're not like trying to, not saying that they want me, like they're trying to make me wear my natural hair, but they prefer it. Like if I were to wear it, they're happy with it, right? So it's so interesting how this self-love journey that's connected to like fully accepting yourself from head to toe is dictating how I choose to let love in, and who I choose to love me, and who I choose to date in that way. So no, I don't have a significant other, but I'm just excited for myself because all of the people who I am dating and the men that I am looking and choosing, they feel like enamored by natural hair. They feel enamored by like Black women. So I'm like, okay, I think I'm doing something right.
Absolutely. That speaks to you being at a fairly healthy place, with your self-love and your boundaries. That would deal with men who, would show up and, complain or speak down on how they choose to exist, and what change to be with them. Then they actually consider it. So it's like, if y'all, not aligned on something that, really matters, like, is this the connection for you? For me, that's a no. That's a negative ghost right here.
But I think it's just like, when I think about the guys I've dated in the past, like, sadly, I felt like I had to accommodate them with my looks. Like, I had to fit the mold of what, like, the kind of woman they wanted. And it's just like, no, like, we're not doing that anymore, love. Like, you better come loving my hair. You better come loving, like, my brown skin, loving, like, my features, right? So, it's just such a drastic difference between, like, what I'm willing to do in order to be in the dating scene versus, like, no, I'm cool. Like, I love me, and I'm only choosing people who like who want to love me too.
To that point, I remember I was dating this guy, and somehow we were talking about something, and he said that, like, he preferred, like, chocolate women. Chocolate women were just so beautiful to him. And I'm sitting here, not a chocolate woman.
It's like, sir, why?
Dating you. And I love that for you. So I was like, let me go ahead and remove myself from the picture. You are free to go and get this beautiful chocolate woman. Like, I want you to have your ultimate, ideal of femininity. Because, we all have preferences. Like, because once he said that, I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I'm not what are you talking about? But at the same time, now that I have to think about, like, what my preference is, he not it either. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
He got certain things going for him. But, like, is he, like, the pinnacle of what I consider, like, masculinity and attractiveness? Like, is this someone that I would even consider?
Right.
Something substantial with? No.
Right.
So
no.
I was just like, you know what, boo?
Right.
Yeah, I want you to find her.
I want you to find your chocolate queen.
To find her. And
absolutely.
I want you to do right by her. I hope she's out there for you, because this is where I get off. Do you know that man? I won't say harassed me, but it took him a good 11, 12 years to finally, like,
let it go.
Stop coming back to check for me. Like, hold on, boo. Like, I respect that. I receive that. You know what I'm saying? And you made me reflect on what I'm doing here with you and how long this is viable. And it's just, I'm going to go this way.
Right. Let me just.
It's like, okay, I walk away, and he's still calling, checking. I'm sorry. You don't have nothing to be sorry about. I want you to find her, and I'm go find her. Treat her like the chocolate queen
that she is. Yes.
Because I know that there is no way that I would even put you in the king position in my life. So what the fuck are we doing? What
are we doing here? what are we doing here, sir? What are we doing?
Yeah. So I mean, yes, like having those, like, what some people call, like, a aha moment, or like a self moment, like,
it's like, once I become my preference, and I see myself as, like, I am I'm a dream woman. I'm only wanting to deal with men who see me the same.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's alignment. And that makes everything easier.
Absolutely.
I wish more of us had that type of self-esteem, in self-love and confidence.
It's work. It takes work.
It takes work. It takes work to get there. And I was, I'm still on my journey, right? At 42, still, areas of life that I am seeking mastery in, self-mastery in, right? And so I love it. I love it here. But I was just like, okay, baby, not a chocolate woman.
Not a chocolate, but it's okay. Like, you do not have to be apologize for your preferences at all. You don't
no,
have
please don't, because we all have them.
to.
And so, do the opinions of your loved ones impact you emotionally? Like when
Ooh,
it comes to hair.
yes.
But, I mean, if you want to speak to that on something else, fine. But
Yeah,
hair.
they do. And I wish I could say like, oh, I don't care what nobody thinks. But when people say that, I'm just like, but to what degree though? Because the people who matter to you, you will take into consideration at least some of the things that they say, right? The people who you care about, the people who, you want to do right by, like if they say something, you kind of take it into consideration. So whether that's something positive or something negative, I think it does impact me. But what I'm working on also is understanding that people have their own filter and framework that they just show up in the world with. And so a lot of the time, if somebody's projecting or if somebody is, maybe coming from a space of like their own insecurities, just sort of acknowledging that within myself and remembering, okay, like it did hurt you when they said this thing, it did affect you, but how true is it? How valid is it? Is it coming from a place of love? Is it coming from a place of their projecting? Is it coming from a place of their insecurities? Like just really observing who and what was said. But if I am being honest, yeah, it does impact me, especially if things are hurtful. It does impact me when people who matter say those things. I think I'm growing now more to, like, as I get older, I'm becoming less impacted by people who don't matter and what they're saying. But we're human, we're human, and we experience emotions that, like, when people say things, trigger us or make us feel a certain type of way. So I'd be lying if I said, oh no, my family says things and I don't get affected, or people I care about say things I don't get affected. I'd be lying if I said that. But I think it's just a matter of becoming aware and understanding, like going back to like that self-love. Like as long as I'm solid in myself and I love myself, it might hurt for a little bit, but I always return back to, but I'm still valuable, I'm still worthy, I'm still lovable,
Yeah, that's real. That's real talk. You know what I'm saying? How valid is it? How true is it? And, okay, doesn't resonate, and
yeah,
move on. Yeah, but
that's it right there.
We do need to normalize caring, because I feel like there's a lot of emotionally dishonest people walking around talking about they don't care.
Unbothered. No, you're very bothered.
It's okay to care. It doesn't mean that you have to change the path that you're on or how you approach, you know what I'm saying? But to be able to admit and acknowledge that this affected me,
yes.
Yeah, that I care. Yeah, it's okay to care. We need to normalize caring. All this I don't care. Like, that's not healthy.
Yeah, we normalize care because we are not meant to be in this world by ourselves. And in order to be in community with other people, we have to somewhat at least acknowledge or have an understanding of why people feel the way they feel and why they're impacted in certain ways. Yeah. So it's okay to care. It's okay to care.
Don't mean you gotta change nothing. It's okay to say that to be emotionally honest. A lot of people, they say one thing and then be feeling another, and it's like,
right. Like the fact that you have to proclaim to everybody that you're unbothered.
Right.
You're maybe a little bit bothered. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
So what is the best compliment that you have received about your natural hair?
The best compliment that I've received about my natural hair was that like the curls were beautiful. I think the general compliments are your hair is so beautiful. I really love when people say your hair is thick, like, because in my mind, and it goes back to the indoctrinate, like the Eurocentric ideals of beauty, right? In my mind, when my hair is blown out and it's in its straighter state, I'm like, oh, my hair is a little bit thin. But when it's in its shrunken state, it's just like glorious, right? So when people are like, no, your hair is actually really thick, I'm like, okay, that's a good compliment, because because I'm working on, not only am I working on just accepting just my hair as it is, but I'm also working on like, okay, how can I get my hair to its highest vitality, right? And so for me right now, health and thickness over length is a priority. Like thickness and health is a priority right now for me.
Absolutely.
So when somebody says, "Yeah, your hair is really thick," I'm like, okay.
I'll take it.
Okay. So yeah, those are the compliments. But I think people are just generally always like, oh my gosh, your hair is so beautiful, and oh my gosh, your hair is stunning. But yeah, in the realm of those compliments, yeah, it makes me feel good. Yeah.
Good. What else do I want to know? Oh, has wearing your natural hair ever cost you job opportunities? And if yes, how do you overcome this?
I love this question because it has never cost me job opportunities. Obviously, like living in the States. Thank you. And I feel blessed. I'm lucky. Or at least not to my knowledge. Maybe somebody didn't hire me or call me back because they were like, we didn't like her hair. But I didn't know that. So what I don't know won't hurt me. But it definitely raised some conversation when I worked in Thailand. So I lived in Thailand and I worked as a teacher for the first 2 years of me living there. And okay, so how do I break this down? Thailand, Thai people are not very like, so in certain areas, there can be just like a general lack of understanding about like natural hair, like black hair, right? And then of course, there's also, in like Eurocentric values have kind of just like bled into the whole world, right? So they also have this idea of what they see as beautiful and what they see as normal, and so they're very reserved. They're very like just kind of like calm and reserved, and there's not a lot of flashiness, there's not a lot of showiness. And so here I am coming with like these braids, this natural hair. And there were a couple times where like my manager would come to me and say, like, the parents are talking and they're saying like you have a vacation hairstyle, because if you come listen, most people who come to Thailand for vacation, they have these hair braiders, like these braiding stalls where they'll braid your hair with like these colorful like hairstyles and stuff. And so that's considered a vacation hairstyle. Like when you go to the beaches, when you go to the islands, like that's a way that you show people, yeah, I went to a vacation in Thailand, in the islands, and so they braided my hair. You get your hair braided, and it's all people, white women, Latina women, all women. So it's kind of like a luxury thing that they do to show like I went on vacation. So here I am coming with braids. This is just how I wear my hair in general, right? I wake up like this, and they're thinking like, oh, why are you wearing your hair from vacation? Why are you wearing your hair like that? So I've definitely had to step out a little bit and educate like my manager or the supervisor that I had at the time about like, okay, so this is just how I wear my hair natural. Yeah. Like, this is just how my hair is, right? Like, and then I had another coworker who, she was from South Africa, and she was colored, but in America, she would be considered a Black woman. But in South Africa, obviously, they have another race that is colored. And she had this coily, beautiful red hair. And it's just like a big fro of just like coily red hair. So she was always getting, just like flack for it. So it hasn't cost me job opportunities, but living in different countries, it definitely has created conversation because of the misunderstanding of Black hair and how we just naturally wear our hair. So
now, when you explain to your supervisor, like, this is just how I wear my hair, like, my type of hair, thrives in braids, we do it regularly. Are they receptive to that, or?
They were tolerant of it.
They tolerated it.
They were like, oh, okay. They were tolerant of it. But of course, because new students come in and there's always parents that are showing up, they're going to get more questions, and then it's going to reflect on them to try to answer those questions. So they were tolerant of it, I would say. But I think the world is definitely coming online to just Black culture in general. And so that's something that I feel was changing. And not to mention, I lived in a very, like the first 2 years I lived in Thailand, I lived in a very small city, like maybe an hour and a half outside of Bangkok. And of course, it wasn't like a big international city where they were seeing expats and Black people coming in and out. So it was different from when I lived there versus when I moved to Chiang Mai, which is a bigger international city where, you know, they see more expats regularly. So yeah, she was tolerant of it. She wasn't like, okay, girl, but she was tolerant.
I think it's interesting too that these women from other ethnic backgrounds go and get braided, and it seemed like as a luxury thing they do. You know, y'all do to go on vacation, but this is just how we walking around because this is, you know, keeping our hair gathered and stretched.
Yes,
it's really very, you know, helpful for it. Like style. Anywho.
Yeah, exactly.
Braids are luxurious, y'all. If y'all didn't know, they're luxurious.
If you didn't know.
Okay. So let's see. Well, I'm glad it never cost you, you know, any opportunities, you know, to your knowledge, but, you know, the educating part, you know, is something you have to do every now and then. Now, do you use like raw natural hair products or processed synthetics or like a combination?
I would say I mostly use natural hair care products. With my shampoos, I'm the type of person who I'm just like standing in the grocery store, like looking at the ingredients. Like I'm just reading through everything because my aim now is my mission lately has been, I want to have as little product in there as possible, as little ingredients in there, maybe not product, as little ingredients in there as possible. So if it has like a long list of all these things, I'm most likely just going to put it back down. I want to see if there's like, you know, and also too, what are the first products that, ingredients that show up on that list? Is it water? Is it just like all natural product or all natural holistic ingredients? So I would say like 80% of my products that I use on my hair and my skin are holistic and natural. Either I make them myself or I vetted them in the grocery store very heavily by looking at the back. And then the synthetic products that I do have now, I am looking to phase those out just because I want to just simplify my hair care and skincare routine. Like I said earlier, you go from like, okay, I got to have this, I got to do this, I got to do that, all these different steps to now it's just like, you know what? Just keep it simple. And I feel like when you have high quality ingredients in your products, it gives you you have the luxury of keeping it simple because they pack a powerful punch and they do more work than the synthetic stuff. So that's where I'm at right now. And that's kind of the wave that I'm moving toward. It's just having everything in my house that I put on my hair, my skin be completely holistic and natural.
I love that. It's a journey. It's an evolution.
It is.
It's like the more you learn, and you know, the better that care that you aspire to take of yourself. You know, like changes will just, you know, on each other. And so, because you know, like I'm on mine too, and and you know that was a fine line to walk. You know, being in the studio, right? You know, being a stylist, it was like, okay, what is the least toxic thing? Who's all my clients and recommend, you know, for their at-home care. And so I'm glad to be in a space where I don't even have to make that type of compromises anymore.
Yes.
I don't, you know, like the most toxic thing I would do. And then, you know, I definitely, you know, did my best to keep the at-home care product recommendations as healthy as possible. And now, since it's just me, right, I can, you know, do all of the DIY and all that stuff and don't have to make those type of compromises. And the recommendations that I give to women now are, of course, at my standard, but there are some things available for people who want to just kind of manage their exposure to toxins instead of eliminating them. So
yeah.
so
Yeah, I wanna mention there's a time where, because when I got my hair, when you dyed my hair, I think you were using like Olaplex at the time, and then there was a time where you even announced like you're no longer using this, and you're no longer doing these types of dyes. And so I would just imagine like being a hairstylist and obviously like who you are and how you move and how you just live your life holistically, and then having clients who want to come in and do certain things. I can imagine that was like a hard decision to make. And I feel like that's something that maybe not necessarily deters people, but prolongs the process for a lot of people of going natural, or maybe even just using more holistic products. Is they feel like they feel they have to throw everything out all at once.
Yeah.
Or they have to just like, okay, well, I can't do this, I can't do that, and what can I do? And now they're stressed out just from trying to figure out how to wash their hair. So that's something that I feel is important to mention. Like when I feel like a lot of us who went natural, we just wanted to get all the products. Like I gotta get this, I gotta get this, I gotta get this. And it's like, you can pace yourself. Like you can take your time on this journey. You know what I mean? That's something I think is important to state. Yeah.
Yes, definitely very necessary. Just, one small change at a time. And
yes.
You'll look up and you are in a completely different place from where you started, because just one small change at a time.
Absolutely.
So,